Imagine this, a calm, deep blue ocean, suddenly erupting into a battlefield. Sounds like something out of a movie, right? Well, on April 13th, 2026, that's pretty much what happened. What started as just another day turned into this high-stakes showdown that completely rewrote the rules of military power in one of the world's most tense waterways. We're diving into the story of the Hormuz incident. So, here's the big question, the one that kicks this whole thing off. You have a nameless ship, and it just goes dark in hostile waters. What happens next? I mean, when a massive vessel deliberately turns itself into a ghost in one of the most sensitive spots on the planet, it triggers a chain of events where every single second is critical. All right, so let's set the scene. Our story kicks off inside a high-tech control room where just a single, tiny blip on a screen is about to set off alarm bells across Iran's entire naval command. Okay, so here's a quick rundown of how this whole day went down. It starts with just a blip on a radar screen, but man, it escalates fast. We're talking about a situation that goes from a routine watch to a full-blown military intercept in just 3 hours. Let's really break down that first crucial moment. So try to put yourself in Officer Ahmed Reza's shoes for a second. For hours, his screen is just the usual, predictable traffic, ships coming and going. But then, this. A signal that just doesn't fit. It's moving with a real purpose, with speed, and it's heading deeper and deeper into restricted territory. He knew right away this wasn't some mistake. This was a deliberate intrusion. Now, to really get why this was so alarming, you have to understand this one piece of tech, the transponder. Think of it as a ship's digital passport. It tells everyone who you are, and where you're going. So turning it off, that's basically the maritime version of putting on a ski mask and walking into a bank. It screams that you're up to no good, either illegal activity or some kind of covert mission. So now they've got a ghost ship on their hands, and the Iranian command center has to make a decision, a really critical one. And believe me, the stakes could not have been any higher. And this is exactly why the situation was so explosive. We're talking about the Strait of Hormuz. This isn't just some random strip of water. It's a major choke point for a huge chunk of the world's oil supply. That means any disruption here, it could literally affect the price you pay for gas. So in a region that's already on edge, an unidentified vessel isn't just a trespasser. It's a potential threat to the entire global economy. The clock is ticking, right? So they've got this choice to make, and fast. They could send in fighter jets or drones, but the nearest airbase is just too far away. The response time would be way too slow, and the ship was moving quickly. That left option 2, the faster, more aggressive, and frankly, riskier response. They decided they had to meet this threat head-on. So the decision was made. No more waiting. It was time to unleash Iran's elite naval commandos and their most formidable weapons on the water. 180 kilometers per hour. Let that sink in. To give you some perspective, that's basically the speed of a bullet train. Now, just imagine that kind of speed hurtling towards you across the open ocean. It's not just fast. It's a terrifyingly effective way to intercept something fast. And speed was just the start. We're not talking about simple transport boats here. No way. These things are basically floating weapons platforms. They're loaded up with machine guns, short-range missiles, and rocket launchers. These small, nimble boats can punch way, way above their weight class. So, as these commandos in their speedboats closed in, they sent out warning after warning, ordering the vessel to stop. But nothing. The ghost ship just stayed silent. It kept on its course. Didn't slow down, didn't change direction, and just like that, the situation went from a simple interception to a full-on confrontation. All right, the warnings were ignored. The time for talking was officially over. What happened next was just a stunning display of military coordination. Just look at the precision here. This was not some chaotic scramble. This was a perfectly choreographed, multi-layered assault. You had the speedboats swarming the target, commandos actually boarding a moving ship, which is incredibly difficult, while helicopters dropped in with backup from above. And to top it all off, MiG-29 fighter jets swooped in to lock down the airspace. I mean, it was a textbook sea and air takedown. And get this, from the moment the very first commando stepped foot on that ship to the second it was completely stopped and under their control, only 2 hours passed. Just 2 hours. An unbelievably swift and decisive operation. Okay, so the ship is captured. The immediate threat is neutralized. But the geopolitical shockwaves? Oh, they were just getting started. Of course, the news broke almost instantly, and speculation just exploded all over the globe. But Iran played this one very smart. They decided to control the narrative completely. By keeping the ship's nationality, its crew, and whatever it was carrying a total secret, they turned a straightforward military operation into a global mystery. And this was the real message hiding behind that mystery. The official statement they put out was blunt, it was crystal clear, and it was aimed at a global audience. The whole point of this operation wasn't just about seizing one ship. It was a powerful, calculated display meant to warn off anyone else thinking of trying the same thing. So what are the big takeaways from all this? Well, this one event really put a spotlight on Iran's advanced detection systems, their incredible rapid response capabilities, and their absolute determination to control their strategic waters. It was, plain and simple, a firm statement of sovereignty. And that brings us to the end. The operation? A success. The message? Sent loud and clear. But that central mystery, the ghost ship itself, where it came from, what it was doing, who sent it, that remains a complete blank. And you know what? Maybe that was the whole point.